Discover the heartwarming truth, how one janitor's life-changing act gave a silent girl her voice. In the bustling corridors of Lincoln High, Sam, the janitor, began his shift as he always did, with a bucket and mop in hand. To the indifferent eyes of the students, he blended into the backdrop, a ghost in the hallways of their teenage drama. Yet, beneath his humble exterior, Sam nursed a melody in his heart, a dream that pulsed like a forgotten beat, a desire to share music with those who needed it most. As his mop glided across the glossy floor, he clung to the rhythm that fueled his ambitions, drowning out the scars of a life as a veteran, a past he kept hidden behind a veil of grime and anonymity. One fateful evening, while polishing the wooden stage of the school's empty auditorium, a sound drifted through the air, wrapping around him like a warm blanket. It was a haunting melody from the piano, each note whispering secrets of beauty and hope. Sam's heart raced, curiosity piquing his interest as he peered through the doorway. There, illuminated by the dim light, was Emily, a shy girl often lost in the chaos of her peers. Her fingers danced over the keys, weaving melodies that told stories her voice could not. For the first time, Sam saw her not as a victim of bullying, but as a girl brimming with talent. Captivated, he cleared his throat, stepping into her sanctuary. "That was beautiful," he said, his voice quiet yet filled with warmth. Emily looked up, surprise in her wide eyes, as her face flushed a soft pink. They shared a moment of silence, an understanding bridging the gap between them. With each lesson Sam offered, he watched Emily blossom, her spirit unearthing a voice that spoke through music, an expression of all the words swallowed by her silence. But just as the notes began to echo through their lives, a storm cloud gathered. The school principal's announcement struck like a thunderclap. It was budget season, and the arts program was on the chopping block. The fear and anger of the students roared like a tidal wave as Sam and Emily exchanged worried glances. If they lost their program, they would also lose their dreams. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Determined to fight back, Sam and Emily rallied their classmates. They stood together, voices resonating in a chorus to protect not just their dreams, but the hopes of the entire community. Each note of their movement spoke volumes, revealing the raw spirit of resilience that defines them. As skepticism arose, Sam's past as a veteran surfaced like a wound in the crowd, but Emily shone brightly, inspiring hope amidst despair. Their journey became a testament to overcoming, turning whispers of doubt into a loud anthem of resolve. As they prepared for a performance that could ethereally bind the community in awe, a long-buried secret threatened to shatter their efforts, leaving Sam and Emily teetering on the edge of vulnerability, and with everything hanging in the balance, as anticipation filled the air like charged electricity, the stage set for their moment, the question lingered: would their voices finally be heard? Would the arts program be saved before it faded into silence? As the day of the performance drew nearer, the air in Lincoln High crackled with tension. Posters hung on every wall, emblazoned with bright colors and bold letters announcing the event. The entire school knew the stakes. Students whispered in hallways, their chatter a mix of excitement and anxiety. Sam observed all this, his heart a heavy drum in his chest, torn between hope and fear. He wanted to believe that their efforts could truly make a difference. Emily was different now. The shy girl who once hid behind her music had stepped into the light. Each practice session brought her laughter, mingling effortlessly with the melodies she created. They stood together, wrapped in the cushions of their art, sharing smiles and dreams. Sam encouraged her, reminding her that her music had the power to transform lives, including her own. But with each new note they composed, that nagging secret of Sam's whispered louder in his mind. On an afternoon thick with the scent of autumn, as they rehearsed for the last time, Sam could see the shadows in Emily's eyes. "Are you okay?" he asked, pausing mid-phrase. The music around them fell into a gentle silence. Emily hesitated, her fingers lingering above the keys. "I've been thinking. What if we don't get enough support? What if it all falls apart?" Her voice trembled like the awakening of a breeze. In that moment, Sam's heart crumbled. "Listen, Emily. It's okay to be scared. Everyone feels it." He took a breath and ran a hand through his hair. "But we have to believe in ourselves." Tears glistened in her eyes, reflecting the dim light of the room. "What if they find out about you, Sam? About your past?" That was the heart of his turmoil. The weight of his experiences, the choices made during his time as a soldier, pressed down on him like a heavy coat. He'd hidden from his history, afraid of how the students might perceive him. Would they see the janitor who cleans their school, or the man who fought battles far removed from these hallways? As if summoned by unspoken fears, a loud knock interrupted them. The principal burst into the auditorium, face taut with tension. "We need to talk," he said, urgency lacing his words. Sam's heart raced as he watched Emily's expression shift from worry to steely determination. "Whatever happens," she whispered to him, "we'll face it together." Their eyes held a promise, a bond forged by music and resilience. Sam felt alive, an ember ignited within him, urging him to be brave. The principal laid out the final details. Grants were being sought, but they needed something powerful to show the funders. He looked directly at Sam. "You and Emily must give them a show that they'll never forget." With the principal's words ringing in their ears, Sam and Emily exchanged glances filled with unspoken questions and a spark of courage. As they prepared for the biggest performance of their lives, amid the crescendo of emotions, a knock echoed through the door once more. This time, it came from a different source, someone Sam never expected would come to witness their quest. As the door creaked open, time seemed to freeze. Who stood there could change everything and, in one moment, shift the course of their lives forever. Who had walked through that door? What would it mean for their dreams? Would the storm brewing in the community quell, or would it grow even darker? The door swung open, and the hallway light poured into the auditorium. Sam's heart pounded louder than ever as he locked eyes on the unexpected visitor. Standing there, framed by the door's threshold, was Mr. Thompson, the former music teacher who had inspired generations of students and, more importantly, the man who had been like a father to Sam. "Mr. Thompson." Sam's voice broke the silence, half disbelief, half hope. Emily's expression mirrored Sam's astonishment. She had heard stories about how Mr. Thompson transformed students' lives with his passionate guidance. Seeing him here, on the brink of their performance, ignited a spark in her chest. "Sam," Mr. Thompson said, his voice deep and warm, "I came to see what you and Emily have been working on." He smiled, but Sam could see the concern lacing that smile like a thread of worry. Sam stepped forward, the urge to embrace the man who changed his life, battling against the fear of exposing everything he had tried to keep hidden. I didn't think you'd come back. It's been so long." "You were always a fighter, Sam," Mr. Thompson said, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Sometimes, even the strongest need support. I heard about the performance. I couldn't miss the chance to see it." Emily glanced between Sam and Mr. Thompson, sensing the weight of their shared history hanging in the air. "We've been preparing something special," she murmured. Mr. Thompson nodded enthusiastically. "Music brings us all together. Let me hear what you've created." As Sam and Emily exchanged hesitant glances, they could feel the energy shift in the room. In that moment, standing on the precipice of the performance, they suddenly remembered why they embarked on this journey in the first place. This wasn't just about grants and funders, it was about sharing their passion with the world. Sam took a deep breath and launched into the first chord. Emily joined in, her fingers dancing across the piano keys, each note like raindrops in a quiet garden. With Mr. Thompson watching, they poured their hearts into the music. The melody flickered between hope and fear, and, for the first time, Sam felt a weight lift from his shoulders. As they played, Sam risked a glance at Mr. Thompson. He was captivated, his eyes brimming with pride and understanding. It was as if he knew the journey that brought them to this moment, the struggles, the determination, the unspoken fears. When the last note faded into silence, Emily's hands fell away from the keys. Breathless, she looked up at Mr. Thompson. "How was it?" she asked, vulnerability spilling into her voice. "That was beautiful," he replied, wiping a tear from his cheek. "You two have something incredible. But Sam, there's more to it than just the performance. You have to let them see the real you." Sam's heart dropped. Could he face the crowd? Could he let go of the past that haunted him? "Everyone has a story," Mr. Thompson continued, his gaze unwavering. "Your history is a part of you, but it doesn't define you. It can inspire others. You just need to share it." The words resonated deeply within Sam. He thought about all the students counting on them, the community hungry for change. It was time to be brave, to honor not just his journey but Emily's too. As he opened his mouth to respond, the sound of laughter echoed from the hall, pulling him from his thoughts. Students gathered outside, unaware of the weight of what lay ahead. Sam and Emily exchanged a nod, silently promising each other that they would face whatever came together, but the shadow of doubt lingered in Sam's heart. Would he find the courage to step into the light on performance night? And what of the unexpected storm brewing outside their safe space? With everything hanging in the balance, there would be no turning back. Sam's mind raced with uncertainty as he stood at the edge of the stage. The laughter from the students outside was a stark contrast to his worry. He caught a glimpse of the polished wooden floor and the anticipation swirling in the air, thick and almost palpable. A part of him wanted to flee into the safety of the shadows, to retreat from the very idea of sharing himself fully with the audience. But the other part, the one ignited by Mr. Thompson's words, urged him to step forward. Emily joined him in quiet determination, her fingers brushing against the piano as if coaxing the instrument for another round. "We can do this, right?" she whispered, her voice steady. Sam nodded, despite the knot tightening in his stomach. "Mr. Thompson is right," he said, trying to convince both her and himself. "We can't just play music. We need to show them who we are." Emily smiled softly, a light of understanding shining in her eyes. "Just remember, they're here for us. They want to hear our story." The words hung in the air, echoing with a mixture of fear and hope. Sam took a deep breath, letting the warmth of the moment fill him. He focused on Mr. Thompson, sitting in the front row with an expression that radiated encouragement. The teacher's presence felt like a lighthouse in the storm of his worries. Okay, Sam said, finding strength in the camaraderie they shared. "Let us do it." As the final cheering subsided from the hallway, the auditorium doors swung wide open. Like the tide washing onto the shore, students flooded in, their chatter and laughter filling the space. Sam felt the weight of 1,000 eyes settling upon him, each gaze carrying expectations, hopes, and insatiable curiosity. He positioned himself at the center, and with a glance at Emily, they began their performance. This was at the moment they had prepared for, the moment Sam had been so terrified of. The first notes rang out, awakening the audible echoes of their souls. And with each chord played, Sam felt layers of doubt peel away. The rhythm surged through him, filling the gaps that had once held silence and sorrow. Emily's unwavering presence anchored him, her smile reassuring him that they were in this together. But what captivated him the most was Mr. Thompson's reaction. The man who had once guided him through legends of music now beamed with pride, his eyes shimmering with recognition of the journey Sam was undertaking not just through music, but through his life. Halfway through, as they transitioned into a more poignant tune, Sam felt a rush of vulnerability. With every note, he began infusing pieces of his history into the performance. The heartbreak, the lost confidence, the climb from darkness into light, all of it flooded into their melody. And in that moment, he realized it wasn't just an act, it was a confession, a shared pulse between him, Emily, and everyone watching. As the final notes reverberated in the silence, the audience sat transfixed. Slowly, the clapping began. It started with a few hands, but soon it cascaded into a thunderous applause that enveloped Sam and Emily like a warm blanket. Emily turned to Sam, her eyes wide with disbelief and joy. "We did it." But as they reveled in the moment, Sam felt a flicker of uncertainty creeping back. They had shared their truth, but there was still more to uncover. Behind the cheers and laughter lay deeper stories, other struggles waiting to be shared. Could he dig deeper? With Mr. Thompson's guidance still echoing in his mind, Sam knew he had to confront the past that lay hidden. The performance was just the beginning. As excitement buzzed through the room, Sam looked out into the sea of faces, searching for something more than applause. He wanted connection, understanding, a bridge to others who felt alone. Next time, he thought, I'll share even more, but would he have the courage? And what truths would emerge for him and for others? The applause washed over Sam like a soothing wave, yet amidst the cheers, a new tension began to build inside him. Emily was grinning, practically bouncing with excitement, but Sam couldn't ignore the gnawing feeling in his gut. They had just taken a monumental step, but the performance felt like a mere appetizer to the banquet of emotions still waiting to be served. As the crowd's clamor faded, Sam's thoughts shifted. He felt a mix of exhilaration and fear, an emotional cocktail stirring within him. He could hear the whispers of his classmates, commenting on the performance, and it filled him with both pride and a creeping sense of doubt. What if they didn't really understand him? Did they truly grasp the depth of what he had shared? Sam! A voice broke through his spiraling thoughts. It was Mr. Thompson, making his way through the throng of students. The teacher's smile was as wide as ever, and as he approached, his eyes sparkled with genuine admiration. "Incredible job up there." "Thanks," Sam replied, his voice barely above a whisper. He could still feel the stage lights buzzing on his skin, the thrill of shared vulnerability hanging in the air, yet there was a lingering question that wouldn't release its grip. "It was honest, Sam," Mr. Thompson continued, his tone earnest. "You weren't just playing music, you were sharing a piece of yourself. That authenticity is what connects us all." "I know, but," Sam hesitated, searching for the right words. "I feel like there's more I should say. Like, I touched on some things, but what if I didn't go deep enough?" Mr. Thompson regarded him carefully, his expression shifting to one of understanding. "You're just getting started. It takes time to unravel those layers." He paused, his brow furrowing slightly. "But if you feel it now, it could be a powerful moment for you." Sam nodded, his heart racing. Perhaps he could use the next performance as a catalyst for deeper expression. He looked over to Emily, who was chatting with a group of students, her excitement radiating. He wondered if she would be on board with sharing more next time. As they wrapped up, Sam felt tugged in both directions, the thrill of triumph and the weight of impending vulnerability. Would Emily want to join him in unearthing deeper stories for their next show? What if exposing more of their lives was too much? That night, lying in bed, Sam couldn't shake the feeling that there was a bigger purpose behind their musical journey. The thrill of playing was intoxicating, but it was the honesty, the raw truth behind their notes, that truly moved him. He rolled over and glanced at his phone. There were notifications lighting up the screen. Friends praising their performance, comments filled with excitement. But amidst the flurry of messages, one stood out. It was from a girl named Lily, known as the Quiet One, the girl who hardly spoke in class. "I loved your performance, Sam. It made me feel understood in a way I didn't think was possible. Thank you for sharing." The word struck him deeply. For Lily, it wasn't just about the music. It was about connection, about feeling seen. Instantly, a spark ignited in Sam. He realized that he wasn't the only one hiding behind walls of silence. If he could harness that power to break through barriers, to reach others just like Lily, he had to do it. With newfound determination surging through him, Sam leaned over to his bedside table, grabbed a notebook, and scribbled, "Next performance, tell our real story." But as he closed his eyes, a question lingered. What truths were waiting to be uncovered, not only for him but also for those who needed to hear them the most. And was he truly ready to face the candid vulnerability that would come with it? The next morning, Sam woke up feeling different. His heart raced with a strange mix of excitement and dread. The world outside his window sparkled with the sun's rays, but inside him, a storm brewed. He thought about the message from Lily and how a simple performance could change someone's outlook. What if he could offer this transformation again? After school, he found Emily in their usual hangout spot, the old wooden bench outside the music room. She was strumming her guitar, lost in her own world. The melody floated into the air, a sweet sound that pulled him in. "Hey, Em," Sam greeted, sinking down next to her. She looked up, a warm smile spreading across her face. "Hey, Sam. Wasn't last night amazing? I still can't believe we did that." Her eyes sparkled, reflecting her passion for music. "Yeah," he said, matching her smile but feeling the weight of his thoughts. "I was thinking, what if we go even deeper with our next performance?" Emily tilted her head, intrigued. "What do you mean?" Sam took a deep breath, grounding himself in the moment, feeling the thrill of vulnerability bubble to the surface. "I want to share more than just the music. I want to tell our real stories, the struggles, the fears. What if we could open up like that?" Emily's expression shifted, a flicker of hesitation passing across her face. "Are you sure? That's kind of intense." "I know," Sam replied, sensing the seriousness in her voice. "But look at how it impacted Lily. If we can reach just one person, isn't it worth it?" Her fingers paused on the strings, and he could see her weighing the idea. In moments like these, their bond felt as fragile as the notes she played. But it was also what made everything worthwhile, the authenticity they both craved. Finally, Emily nodded. "Okay. Let us do it. But we should think about what stories to tell. It can't just be scattered thoughts." "Right." Sam felt a swell of relief wash over him. They were in it together. "What about our own struggles? You know, growing up a bit different and feeling out of place." "I love that." Emily's eyes lit up. "There's so much to share, like those times when we both felt invisible." They began to brainstorm, their voices intertwining as they sketched out their ideas. Each shared detail dug deeper, carving paths into their own vulnerabilities. Sam spoke of moments when people laughed at him in school for being too sensitive, while Emily shared how her voice had been stifled by fear and doubt. As the conversation flowed, their connection deepened. Words turned into melodies, and soon they were crafting chords that echoed their truths. They locked eyes, the thrill of creation igniting hope in their hearts. But as the day wore on, an unsettling thought fluttered in Sam's mind. What if their stories didn't resonate? What if their truth pushed people away instead of bringing them together? Emily must have sensed it. "Sam, it's scary, I know. But we have to trust that our honesty will shine. It's what makes us real." He nodded, but trepidation lingered like a shadow. They were about to step into uncharted territory, exposing their hearts, perhaps to a mixed bag of reactions from the crowd. As the final bell rang, signaling the end of the school day, Sam felt the weight of anticipation settling in his chest. Would they truly find those willing to listen? Would their vulnerable stories open up a world of understanding? Only time would tell. And just as the thought settled in, another message dinged on Sam's phone. It was from Lily again. "I can't wait to hear you perform again. I really believe you have something special." Her words washed over him, giving him a glimmer of hope. But a question lingered in the back of his mind: what would happen when they finally revealed their raw truths? Would they be ready for the flood of emotions that followed? Tomorrow would bring answers. And deep down, he knew, stepping into that spotlight was only the beginning. The day arrived, and with it came a whirlwind of nerves. Sam stood before the mirror, straightening his shirt, trying to calm the storm brewing within. The anticipation of sharing their stories hung heavily in the air like charged static before a storm. He envisioned the crowd gathered in the gym, the light shining on the makeshift stage, and his heart raced. What if it all fell flat? Hey, Sam! Emily burst through the door, her energy brightening the otherwise tense atmosphere. She was wearing her favorite beanie and had her guitar slung across her back. Are you ready for this? He forced a smile, but it felt twitchy on his face. As ready as I'll ever be. She placed a hand on his shoulder, offering some warmth and reassurance. We've got this. Remember, honesty is our strength. It's about connecting, not perfection. With her words encouraging him, he took a deep breath. Yeah, you're right. It's just he hesitated, searching for the right words. What if no one understands? Emily shook her head, glowing with confidence. Just think of Lily. Think of how she reacted to our last performance. We're not just sharing words, we're sharing pieces of ourselves. That matters. The familiar thrill slowly replaced the dread. Sam thought of their stories, how they intertwined like old vines in a garden, each one nurtured through trials and growth. As they walked through the halls, students were buzzing with chat and laughter. Some glanced their way, and Sam felt exposed, his vulnerabilities on display without a shield. But Emily walked with purpose, her stride steady, and he found himself mirroring her confidence. Finally, they stepped into the gymnasium. It was set up with rows of folding chairs, the gym floor reflecting the afternoon sun streaming through the windows. Their friends were scattered throughout, supportive smiles welcoming them into the space. Hey, we believe in you! Lily shouted from somewhere near the front, her voice cutting through the chatter and pulling Sam's focus. The warmth of her encouragement wrapped around him, taking the stage felt surreal. The spotlight was brighter than he remembered, making the faces in the audience fade into shadows. As he stood beside Emily, the weight of the moment sank in. Hi everyone! Emily called out, her bright voice cutting through the nervous energy. Thanks for being here. We're going to share something that's really special to us. The crowd quieted, and Sam could see a mix of curiosity and anticipation in their eyes. Emily started strumming a soft melody, and Sam's heart synchronized with the rhythm. This was it. As they launched into their first song, a piece they had crafted for healing, Sam let go of every fear that held him captive. Each note poured from the depths of his soul, a window into his world. When the chorus hit, he shared his truth, the feeling of being too sensitive, the sting of laughter directed at him. The vulnerability opened cheap floodgates. As Emily chimed in with her struggles, speaking of feeling invisible and unheard, Sam caught glimmers of recognition on the faces in the audience. Then, in the silence that followed their song, Sam spotted Lily's eyes shimmering with tears. Something shifted inside him, a sense of connection blossoming. He realized they were no longer alone in their narratives. Thank you for listening, he managed to say, his voice steady despite the tremors of emotion. This is just a piece of who we are. Applause erupted, filling the air with warmth and encouragement. But it wasn't the applause that made his heart swell. It was seeing the smiles, the nods of understanding, the teens who seemed to feel less alone. As they took a bow, Emily whispered, I think we did it. Sam grinned, relief flooding him. But in the back of his mind, another thought raced through. What if this was only the beginning? Could they carve out a path where more voices could be heard? People are listening, Emily said, sensing the shift in his thoughts. What's next for us, Sam? He looked around at the crowd, the shared energy buzzing like electricity. Ideas sparked in his mind, a journey unfolding before them. Let us keep going, he said, eyes bright. Let us bring more stories to light. As they walked off stage, a new message pinged on Sam's phone, turning his world upside down once again. Let us meet. I have something important to share. It was from Lily. The message blinked on Sam's phone, pulling him back from his thoughts. Let us meet. I have something important to share. Just those words sent a jolt through his chest. Who is it from? Emily asked, leaning closer, her curiosity piqued. "It's from Lily," he replied, his voice tinged with a mix of excitement and unease. "She wants to meet, and it sounds serious." Emily's brows furrowed. "What do you think she wants to tell you? Is everything okay?" "I don't know." Sam's mind began to race with possibilities. What if it was about their performance? What if she had even more to share? Or maybe something was troubling her. The gym still buzzed with the afterglow of their performance. Every wave of applause felt like a memory woven into the fabric of the night. But the message tugged at him, urging him into action. "Should we go now?" Emily suggested, picking up on his urgency. "Yeah," Sam replied, already mentally mapping the shortest route to Lily's house. "Let us not wait." They hurried out of the gym, the sounds of laughter fading behind them. The evening air was cool against his flushed cheeks, and with every step, he felt a part of him fray more and more. "Do you think she might want to join us in sharing more stories? Maybe she has something she's been holding back," Emily speculated as they walked side by side. "I hope so. I want her to feel comfortable enough to share," Sam confessed. He realized how protective he felt about Lily. She had always been quieter than the rest, floating in the background, a silent observer in a loud world. As they arrived at Lily's house, a knot twisted in Sam's stomach. He knocked, and after a moment that felt like an eternity, the door creaked open. Lily stood there, eyes wide with a whirlwind of emotions. "Come in." "Sorry, I was just thinking." Inside, her living room was rich with color, framed photos dotting the walls. Happy moments frozen in time wrapped around them, contrasting sharply with the heavy air that lingered in the room. "Thanks for inviting us," Emily said, her voice gentle and steady. Lily gestured for them to sit down. Sam took a breath, feeling the weight of her gaze on him. "I wanted to talk about something important," Lily started, fiddling with the hem of her sweater. "About my story. What I shared with you, about feeling invisible. I think it goes deeper than that." Sam exchanged a glance with Emily, both listening intently. "I don't know if you know this," Lily continued, her voice trembling slightly, "but I found it so hard to talk, even with my friends. It's like everyone else's voices were louder than mine. But when I heard you both perform, it gave me the courage to finally speak up." Sam felt a swell of emotion. "That's amazing, Lily. We're so glad to hear that." "But there's more," she interrupted, her eyes brightening with determination. "I want to use my voice to help others feel heard too. I think we can start a platform where people share their stories, just like we did." The idea hung in the air, its weight profound. Sam's heart raced. Could they really do something like that? Could they change the dialogue in their tight-knit community? "Lily, that's incredible," Emily whispered, a spark igniting within her. "But what if nobody comes?" Lily shook her head, the fire in her eyes unwavering. "We have to try. If we can help even one person feel seen, it will be worth it." The silence that followed was thick with possibility, weaving a tapestry of hope that Sam had never felt before. The idea of using their experiences for a greater cause mixed something deep within him. It felt like they were on the brink of something important. "Let us do it," Sam finally said, a grin breaking out across his face. "Let us find a way to bring people together and share their stories." Lily's smile lit up the room. "Really? You guys are in?" "Absolutely," Emily said, her voice bubbling over with enthusiasm, but as they began mapping out plans, a twinge of doubt prickled at the back of Sam's mind. What would they uncover? Could they bear the stories they would hear? That evening closed with a promise but also an unspoken fear that ebbed just under the surface. What if, in seeking to give others a voice, they uncovered their own vulnerabilities in the process? Just as they wrapped up, Sam's phone pinged again. Another message, but this one was from an unfamiliar number. "You don't want to miss what I have to say. It's about Lily." Sudden dread washed over him. "Guys, I think we need to see what this is about. Sam's heart raced as he read the text again. His thumb hovered over the screen, torn between curiosity and caution. Do you think it could be someone trying to prank us? Emily asked, her brows knitting together. I don't think so. It feels too personal, Sam replied. His gut instinct nudged him forward. We have to find out what this is about. Lily, sensing the rising tension, bit her lip. What if it's something bad? Maybe we should just focus on our idea instead, but Sam shook his head. No, we can't ignore this, especially if it involves you. He tapped the contact to get more information. The mystery hung in the air, thick and heavy. They gathered their things, the mood shifting. The warmth of inspiration they had felt earlier now contorted into a tight knot of apprehension. Stepping out of Lily's home, Sam glanced at Emily, who nodded, her expression a mix of determination and dread. Where are we going? Lily asked, glancing back and forth between them. To find out who sent this message, Sam replied, tightening his grip on his phone. The weight of it felt both electrifying and chilling. As they made their way down the dimly lit street, a cool breeze rustled the leaves overhead. Sam's thoughts whirled. Who would write something like that? Were they friends, or did they have ill intentions? He wouldn't let fear hold him back. Lily deserved to know everything, even if it was uncomfortable. They reached the nearest cafe, buzzing with chatter and coffee aromas. Sam led the way to a corner table where he could focus on the message without distractions. He opened his phone once more, his heart thumping in his chest. Okay, here goes, he mumbled, tapping the message to call the number. The phone rang, each beep echoing like a drum in his ears. Just as he was about to lose his nerve, a voice came through. Hello. Hi, Sam stuttered. This is Sam. I got a message from this number about Lily. Is this? Listen carefully, the voice cut in, low and urgent. You need to pay attention to Lily. There is something she doesn't know about herself. It's important for you all. The sudden shift in tone sent chills down Sam's spine. What do you mean? What does she need to know? It's not my place to say it all, but there's a connection between Lily and someone close to her past. She may need to come to terms with it for things to move forward. The voice hesitated, waited with intention. Find out her story and listen to it closely. Wait, who are you? But the line went dead before he could get an answer. Sam stared at the phone, mind racing. He looked up, meeting Emily's wide eyes. What was that? Who even was that? Lily was deep in thought, fingers clasped tightly together. I don't know what's going on. That sounded. She trailed off, her eyes glistening with worry. That sounded serious, Sam confirmed, his heart thudding in his chest. We need to talk about your past, Lily. But I don't really remember much. I always tried to forget. Her words were barely a whisper. What if there is something worth remembering? Emily chimed in, her voice soft yet firm. If it can help you and us in this journey, don't you think it's worth exploring? Lily's face reflected vulnerability and panic, but there was a flicker of something else. Curiosity, maybe. I guess I could try, she said slowly, searching their faces. Sam nodded, feeling the weight of their collective journey press down on them. He had felt Lily's struggle to express herself, but now, this new lead could open up a path to understanding her even more. As they left the cafe, an unexpected determination coursed through them. They would support Lily, whatever it took. Just then, Sam's phone buzzed again. Another message. This one read, "You're running out of time, find the truth before it finds you." Sam's breath caught in his throat. What truth? And what was the connection waiting to be uncovered? Turning to Emily and Lily, he knew one thing: they were about to embark on a journey deeper than they could have imagined. But would the truth help them or tear them apart? The night was still young. The air was electric as Sam, Emily, and Lily stood together outside the school, ready to embark on a journey that felt both thrilling and terrifying. Deep down, Sam felt a sense of urgency. They had come too far, and this moment held the potential for transformation both in their lives and in the lives of others. "All right," Sam said, taking a deep breath. "We're going to uncover whatever's waiting for us." His resolve resonated with the girls. They shifted closer, determination etched on their faces. Lily nodded, her voice barely a whisper that seemed to carry weight. "I want to do this. If there is something I need to remember, I want to know." With that, the trio headed to the cafe again, ready to dig deeper into Lily's past. They settled into a cozy corner, the smell of coffee swirling with anticipation. "Let us start with what you do remember, Lily," Emily gently encouraged, her tone calm and supportive. Lily fidgeted with her hands. "My family has always kept things private. I remember moments, pieces of my childhood, flashes of happiness, a family I loved. But the rest is blurry. It's like I've always been trying to forget something sad." She looked up, and Sam could see determination shining through her anxious expression. "But what if those memories can break the silence? What if they help us reach others?" "Exactly." Emily chimed in, her enthusiasm infectious. "Your story is important, Lily. It could resonate with someone else who feels the same." As they talked, the conversation flowed like a river, weaving together strands of shared experiences, fears, and hopes. Sam noticed the connection between them grow stronger, a beautiful tapestry unfolding before their eyes. They laughed together, shared silent understanding, and underpinned it all was the common thread of vulnerability. Lily's cheeks flushed as she recounted her childhood, moments of warmth and family gatherings that felt like a distant dream. But then, as if clouds rolled in, she spoke of darkness, the silence after laughter, the moments when her family turned distant, when she learned to hide her struggles. "I've always felt like a ghost," Lily revealed, her eyes shimmering. "Invisible to everyone. Even in a crowd, I never really felt seen." Sam's heart ached for her. He understood that feeling all too well. "But you're not alone anymore. We'll make sure of it," he promised, his voice steady. Just then, his phone buzzed again. Another message: "The truth can bind or break you. Choose wisely." The words dug into him, and he shared the fresh warning with the group, and as he spoke, an unshakable feeling settled in his stomach. "Should we go a little deeper?" Emily suggested hesitantly. "This is getting intense. Maybe we can take it slow?" Lily asked, her voice wavering. "No. If we're going to do this, we have to commit fully," Sam encouraged, gathering strength from the bond they had built. "You have the power to change so much. Your journey could light the way for others who felt the same." With trembling hands, Lily agreed. She closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering courage from somewhere deep within. "Okay. I remember a name. Someone from my past. Marcus. He used to be close, but things got complicated." "Complicated how?" Emily leaned in, her interest piqued. He disappeared one day. I hardly think about it, but I remember how I felt when he left. Like a piece of me vanished too." Silence enveloped them as they digested her words. Sam looked at Lily's vulnerable expression, an unsettling mix of fear and longing for answers. They couldn't ignore the weight of her past any longer. "Maybe finding out about Marcus is the key," Sam suggested, moving forward with determination. "It could lead us to the heart of your story, or better yet, help us reach out to those who feel the same." Meeting each other's eyes, they knew that they were on the verge of something seismic. They felt it in their bones. They hadn't just stepped onto a stage. They had begun a movement. Sam glanced at the scattered papers from their earlier discussions, where they had shared their intentions. "We can incorporate this into our platform. Our stories will anchor it, and Lily, your truth can inspire hope." "Hope and connection," Lily replied thoughtfully, her voice steadier now. "I want to help others find their voices too." As they brainstormed, the cafe around them blurred into the background. A new mission began to crystallize in their minds, transforming their individual stories into a collective force that would resonate throughout their school and maybe even beyond that. In the weeks that followed, they poured their energy into crafting their next performance, blending music with spoken words celebrating their wounds and how they had learned to heal. Sam felt emboldened every step of the way, buoyed by the unity they had created together. Finally, the day came for their presentation. The school auditorium was packed, energy humming in the air like a live wire. As they walked on stage, Sam felt the familiar knot of nerves, overwhelming yet exhilarating. "Thank you for coming," he began. "Today we share not just music, but our stories, the light and the darkness." Emily joined in, her presence grounding him. "This is for anyone who has ever felt invisible. For anyone searching for their voice. We hope our truth can reach yours." They opened their hearts on stage, intertwined melodies unraveling the struggles they had carried. The audience was rapt, their attention hanging on every note, every word filled with honesty and sincerity. When Lily took the mic to share her journey, her voice trembled at first but then gained strength. "I felt lost for so long," she said, tears spilling down her cheeks. "But I've learned that our stories, all of them, matter. They connect us, heal us, and remind us that we're not alone." When they finished, silence enveloped the room before a wave of applause erupted. It crashed over them, washing away the fears they had once clung to. Sam's heart swelled with pride not only for himself and Emily but for Lily. They had unleashed something powerful, a shared journey that felt bigger than all three of them. As they left the stage, a newfound energy fizzed through the room. They had started something that could bloom in the hearts of their classmates. "We did it!" Emily shouted, her face lit with joy. "Yeah, we did!" Sam echoed, but deep down, he knew that this was simply the beginning. It was time for them to continue spreading the message and helping others unwrap their stories. Lily caught their eyes, her smile radiant. "And I know just the next steps we should take." With that, laughter and excited discussions filled the air as they stepped off stage, hand in hand, ready to continue the journey and empower others just as they had found their strength. The truth had set them free, but more importantly, it had woven their lives into a shared tapestry of hope and resilience. And through their stories, they would help others find their own voices. As they stepped out into the cool night, a promise hung in the air, a promise of authenticity, connection, and the belief that together, they could create a community where everyone felt seen. Now, the world awaited. And you need to step up and show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will surely inspire you and those around you. Hit that like button now to feed the algorithm so we keep reaching the hearts that need this. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this incredible transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness how powerful our voices can become together. It's time to join this movement of storytelling and connection.